Hello listeners and welcome to this week's recording of Boomerang. This week it's Team 5 and we're made up of John, who's filling in very kindly for us today, Ruth, Claire, Rosemary, and today our engineer is Harry. The news this week is taken with permission from the West Lothian Courier dated the 12th of June 2025. As usual, the news will be broken into parts, and can I remind you that when you've listened to the whole recording, please post your wallet back to us from a post box and not the post office. Now we'll begin with part 1, general news. And the first item is the headline item from the paper, and it's headed, Brave Toddler Set for Life-Changing Operation, and is by Chris Gourley. A West Lothian mum who's travelling to Manchester so her 2-year-old daughter can receive life-changing surgery says she will do whatever has to be done to help her child. Dakota Braithwaite was born with bladder exstrophy, a birth defect where the bladder is exposed outside the body through an opening in the lower abdominal wall. The condition occurs in 1 in 50,000 births. The toddler is now set to undergo 2 surgeries in Manchester, which involve placing a metal plate inside her pelvis. Dakota will also have to lie on her front for several weeks afterwards. Despite doctors insisting the condition should not be causing Dakota pain, her mum, Denny Shanks, says she often complains of discomfort, which isn't easy to deal with, and added how the surgery was initially meant to take place when she was 9 to 12 months old. The 26-year-old from East Calder was also unaware her daughter would have to undergo multiple operations and was only told this week when she phoned the team in Manchester ahead of what she thought was her only surgery date on June 26th. However, Denny is now having to travel down before June 16th and pay for her own fuel, accommodation and food until Dakota is fully admitted. Denny has started a fundraising online which has since surpassed £1,000 as she prepares for her daughter's long stay in hospital. Tragically, Dakota's dad and Denny's ex-partner died suddenly last month, leaving her with a little family to travel down and support her. And I'll read that wee bit again. Tragically, Dakota's dad and Denny's ex-partner died suddenly last month, leaving her with little family to travel down and support both her and Dakota during their stay in Manchester. It was also helping fund any expenses during his daughter's admission. Despite this, Denny is putting on a brave face and says her main priority is getting her daughter the help she needs. When Dakota was born, I wasn't allowed to see her for hours, and the doctor couldn't even tell me if it was a boy or a girl for several days while they conducted tests. Me and her dad had the fear the whole time I was pregnant. We paid for extra scans, but nothing ever came up. Doctors came in and said she was breech and I needed an emergency C-section. When we got into surgery and she was delivered, they knew something was wrong. For the first 6, 7 or 8 hours, I wasn't allowed to see her or pick her up. She was taken away and fed on sugar water. When she was born, she wasn't strong enough to have surgery, so it was meant to be done between 9 and 12 months, which obviously hasn't been the case, as there's been a lot of pressure on the NHS. She is in pain, and she tells me she's sore, but doctors have explained she isn't in pain. I said, my daughter wouldn't be squirming around and telling me she's sore if she's not. I know my daughter. Sometimes changing a nappy can be tricky, and she'll avoid getting changed as it gets uncomfortable. In a way, she knows she's different. She's very smart, maybe too smart. When Dakota was born, she was transferred from St John's Hospital in Livingston to the Royal Hospital for Children and Young People in Edinburgh, where consultants continued to work on a definitive diagnosis. After days, Denny says she was given paperwork about the condition, but none of it made sense. Denny even blamed herself, but was informed the condition is unrelated to the baby's parents. I wouldn't have been blessed with Dakota if the world didn't think I was capable, Denny continued. She has to lie flat for weeks after the surgery, which will be a real task, but from what they've told me, she will be medicated, so hopefully she isn't going to be in pain and it all goes to plan. I'm trying to tell everyone I'm fine and ready, but in reality, I'm not at all. I don't think anything can prepare you for this. The surgery should be a one-time thing, but over time things may change. We need to do it and see how it goes. I've actually connected to another parent with the condition who I've spoken to and say it's gone well for their child and they haven't had to undergo further surgery. However, Dakota has a gap of 7 centimetres between her pelvis, which is typically a little larger than most children's with bladder exstrophy. One of the parents kindly sent me photos of her daughter after surgery, so it prepared me and helped massively. Following the sad passing of Dakota's dad last month, family members who were going to travel down to see her and Denny are grieving and likely won't make the trip to Manchester, meaning Denny will be on her own for the majority of Dakota's admission. You can donate to Denny's fundraiser by logging on to GoFund.com/F/6D9UV-help-my-girl-get-her-life-changing surgery.
The next article is by Ross Thompson and is about a West Lothian volunteer who's been recognised for her hard work at a local kids initiative. Donna Watson from Livingston received a £100 gift card from the Centre Livingston in recognition of her 10th anniversary as a volunteer with the social enterprise Kids Equal during Volunteers Week. The Centre Livingston Volunteers Award is part of the shopping centre's Support in the Community initiative, established almost 10 years ago to pay tribute to people like Donna, who are doing an outstanding job helping other people in the local community and reward them for all their efforts. Kids Equal, which has a team of 35, including 20 volunteers, who like Donna give up their time every week to help the social enterprise, was founded by Tracy Murdoch in 2010, with the aim of enhancing the happiness and resilience of parents and children in the local area and empowering them for a better future. Donna, who marks her 10th volunteering anniversary at Kids Equal this year, was nominated by the Retail Operations Manager, Steph Forsyth, in recognition of her outstanding dedication over the past decade. Steph said, "Donna is very deserving of this volunteer award in recognition of her enthusiasm, attention to detail, reliability and genuine passion for everything we do at Kids Equal." Over the years, Donna has taken on a wide range of tasks from customer service to key holding, processing and filtering donations and pricing. Her current role is to look after our pre-loved clothing section, ensuring all items are of the highest quality, clean, refreshed and steamed before they reach the shop floor. In addition to her hands-on work, Donna is also a tremendous support to new volunteers and staff. With her deep knowledge of her processes, she's always ready to answer questions, offer guidance or demonstrate tasks to help others feel confident in their roles. Most recently, during a restructure and store refit, Donna went above and beyond. She even increased her hours to help ensure we were ready for our grand reopening. Her dedication is truly invaluable and highly commendable. We are incredibly grateful to have her as part of the team and can't thank her enough. Donna said, "I absolutely love volunteering with Kids Eco because I believe in everything they stand for as an organisation and really enjoy giving something back to the community. As a parent, shopping there is a lovely experience. It doesn't feel like a typical pre-loved store. There's real care in how everything is displayed. I was so excited and honoured to get this award in recognition of my efforts. It's nice to know my contributions make a difference."
The Vennie given $50,000 of funding to continue key projects. And the article is by Stuart Somerville. A Livingston community venture which provides a base for youth groups and a well-used food outlet has secured almost £50,000 of new funding. The Vennie, which has served hundreds of children in Knightsbridge since it was first set up 16 years ago, hopes to develop new benefits to youngsters in the hard-hit area. The youth club has seen a surge in the number of youngsters joining in the last year, with almost 250 signing up. Jen McCusker, the youth coordinator, who was appointed along with the new trustees last August, said a redrawn timetable enabled the venue to offer 2 clubs a week to youngsters from primary age up to 17. Alongside sports, there are art and drama clubs, as well as practical skills courses. The venture has now secured an award of £14,000 of funding for 2 years from the National Lottery's Community Fund to develop their bike project. The funding will allow the venue to hire a bike library technician to develop and manage a new bike lending scheme, as well as run bike maintenance classes and encourage cycling and skills development. The venue is also converting the office within its building to a library sensory room. At the Mosswood Community Centre, where the venue runs its successful food outlet, volunteers are supporting young people from Ogilvie School campus to open and run the cafe on Friday mornings. Julie Henderson, who runs the food outlet, told the local Democracy Reporting Scotland service that the outlet would also see the return of a benefits advice officer. The venue has also been successful in applying for funding through the Third Sector Community Support Fund, securing an award of £33,157, which will run from July 2025 to June 2026. The group had previously received 2-year funding from the TSCSF for the period July 2023 to June 2025. The funding will be used to support the core work of the project, including the food outlet, the community garden, bike library and youth programmes. A report to the Livingston North local area community by the Council's Community Regeneration Officer, Scott McKillop, added, "This recognises the venue as a community anchor organisation for Knightsbridge and wider Livingston North, and their capacity to develop community responses to local needs." Alongside Jen McCusker, the venue boosted its team of trustees to include former local MP Hannah Bardell. Another long-term supporter of both the youth club and the food outlet is the local SNP councillor Andrew Miller. The venue also celebrated a major boost last autumn with the opening of a new kitchen in their youth club, supplied with an £8,000 donation from supermarket chain Morrison's. Chairing the local area committee, Councillor Anne McMillan said, "It's fantastic about the venue getting the $14,000 for the bike library. Well done. We had a presentation from the venue team not that long ago and it was fantastic. So it's great to see that they're getting rewarded for the effort that they are putting in there."
Housing crisis deepens as availability plummets, an article by Stuart Somerville. 7 communities in West Lothian had no council houses available for the first 3 months of the year, it has emerged. Turnover of West Lothian's social housing dropped at the start of the year, a report revealed. This left 7 communities with no available homes, while 7 more only saw 1 house come up for let. Most lets were 2-bedroom, while demand is rising for larger homes. Councillors on Housing Services PDSP heard that 130 homes were let between January and the end of March compared to 177 in the same period of 2024. In a report to the committee, Sarah Kelly, Housing Need Manager, said, "This decrease in available lets is a result of there being a large decrease in available lets is a result of there being a lower turnover of properties overall, and repairs works being completed in more void properties compared to the same quarter last year. During 2024 to 25, there were 7 communities with no lets recorded: Bells Quarry, Craigshill, Ecclesmachan, Newton, Phillipston, The Riggs and 3 Mile Town. In the first 3 months of the year, 7 communities had 1 mainstream property available to let: Breich, East Calder, Linlithgow, Linlithgow Bridge, Seafield, Stonyburn and Westfield.
The communities with the highest percentage of total lets were Armadale with 17 lets, 13.5%, Bathgate with 13 lets, 12%, and Fauldhouse with 10 lets, 8%. Of the 130 lets across the county, 79 went to homeless people. The majority of properties that were available for letting in the 3 months were cottage types, 54 followed by 4 in a block at 39 and flats at 20. There were also 10 maisonettes and 7 sheltered housing lets. In terms of property size, 46% of the lets were 2-bedroom properties. That was 60 lets. 38% were 1-bedroom properties, 50 lets. 15% were 3-bedroom properties, 20 lets. And there were no 4 or 5-bedroom properties let during the quarter. Answering a question from committee chair, Councillor George Paul, Ms Kelly said that demand for larger homes was growing compared to the numbers of larger homes available on the council stock. Earlier this year, the LDRS revealed that of 14,000 council homes in the county, fewer than 700 have 4 or more bedrooms. In some cases, demand is growing because generations are living under the same roof. West Lothian has dozens of post-war housing estates such as Bog Hall and Glen Mavis and Bathgate, which included bigger homes reflecting the demand from larger families in the 1940s. But in general, housing sizes have shrunk in the last 70 years. A spokesperson told the LDRS there have been a rise in demand for larger homes in West Lothian in recent years. Homeless presentations and applications for housing show that this demand stems from a range of reasons, such as an increased number of families with more than 3 children, extended families of 3 generations or more living together, and more blended families with children from previous households. Currently, only a small percentage of our 14,000 housing stock are larger homes, with 505 4-bedroom homes and 155 5-bedrooms or more. This means that less than 5% of all our council homes are 4 bedrooms or more and are less likely to become available than smaller homes. And the article is accompanied by a picture of one of the housing estates.
This next article is headed Petition Signed for Better Buses. Livingston MP has signed a petition calling for the reintroduction of a bus service in a community he says is completely cut off for those who don't drive. Gregor Poynton MP added his name to the Livingston Village Community Council's public transport petition, supporting calls to bring back a service route to the area. The Courier reported back in March this year that around 50 local people had gathered in protest at a bus stop in Livingston Village that hadn't seen a bus arrive for a year. Local people revealed how they were finding it difficult to get to the hospital and the local GP surgery next to it. The town centre is even farther away. Getting to and from Livingston Village to other parts of the community is proving difficult unless residents drive or can afford to use taxis. The removal of the bus services to Bathgate and Livingston shopping centres also made it difficult for residents to shop in person. Residents said they face a 10 and 12-minute walk to catch the next nearest bus service, but for people with reduced mobility, these walk times increase to over 25 minutes to reach bus stops, which are up to and over 800 metres away. One frustrated resident said, "There is a bookable bus service for elderly and disabled locals, but it's organised for every Tuesday at 9:30 in the morning with a return journey at 11:30. The 9:30 start can make it difficult for people who have carers who may arrive later than expected. It only gives one opportunity a week to go out of the house to do a weekly shop or visit someone. What the village really needs is to bring back our buses." Mr Poynton also recently met with Lothian Buses to raise these concerns on behalf of the community. He said, "I support the community's calls for a service route. It's vital that we bring communities together, not keep them separated."
Next article is entitled Offering a Gateway to New Social Enterprise and is by Stuart Somerville. West Lothian's voluntary sector Gateway hopes to give a helping hand to anyone thinking of setting up a social enterprise. The Gateway, which acts as an umbrella and support agency for charity groups across the county, is looking to encourage the development of homegrown business ideas which help local communities thrive. One of West Lothian's most successful social enterprise companies is the Larder, which provides skills training to young people as well as community catering, cafes and a bakery. Now the Gateway wants to hear from others who have ideas and is planning an information session for anyone interested in establishing a business that delivers social impact. The informal session will take place on Wednesday, June the 25th between 6:30pm to 8pm at the Gateway offices in King Street, Bathgate. It is open to all with no previous experience necessary. Attendees will receive valuable information about social enterprises, advice on getting started, and details of available startup funding. Whether you already have an idea or are simply exploring possibilities, this session will provide a useful introduction to social enterprise and the support available to help you turn your idea into reality. No previous experience is required. The session will cover what a social enterprise is and how it operates, how to develop a social enterprise idea into a sustainable venture, information on the funding, and the guidance the sector can offer to support startup activity. This event is open to anyone interested in creating positive change through enterprise. Further details can be had by contacting the VSG on 01506 650 111 or online socialenterprises@vsgwl.org.
This article is titled New NHS Funding Welcomed, and it's by Michael Pringle. An announcement of targeted funding to reduce NHS waiting times in Lothian has been welcomed by Fiona Hislop, MSP. The SNP parliamentarian for the Linlithgow constituency reacted to the Scottish Government's announcement of £22 million to help NHS Lothian to reduce waiting times as part of a £106 million investment in NHS Scotland. The funding from the Scottish Government will focus on the longest waits for essential procedures and appointments and includes £25 million for orthopaedics, £21 million for imaging services, £14 million for cancer treatment and £12 million for ophthalmology. Fiona said, "The Scottish Government recognise that supporting our NHS is a key priority for people across West Lothian, and this is clear from this £106 million funding boost to NHS services across Scotland. Across NHS Lothian, there will be an investment of over £22 million, which will be key in reducing waiting times for essential procedures and appointments. By focusing funding on the areas where it is needed most, such as orthopaedics, cancer and diagnostics, delays can be tackled, and this will allow for quicker diagnoses, more procedures and better outcomes for the people across West Lothian."
Cash Access boost with new hubs. Cash Access UK has opened 3 new hubs in West Lothian. Temporary banking hubs have been set up in Linlithgow's Borough Halls and Bathgate's Jim Walker Partnership Centre, while a permanent hub has opened in Bowness, located at 68 South Street. Customers of all major banks can visit any weekday between 9am and 5pm to carry out regular cash transactions, including cash withdrawals and deposits, as well as checking balances or paying bills. The hub also offers a community banker service, where customers can talk to their own bank in a private space about more complicated issues on the day their bank is in the hub. In Linlithgow, Mondays are Santander, Tuesdays are for Barclays, on Thursday it's Royal Bank of Scotland and on Friday the Bank of Scotland. In Bathgate, Santander are also in on Mondays, RBS take Tuesday, Bank of Scotland are on Wednesday from July, with TSB on Thursday, and coming soon is Barclays on Friday. And at the new Bowness branch on Monday is Bank of Scotland, on Tuesday it's RBS, with TSB on Wednesday, Barclays on a Thursday and Virgin Money taking Fridays.
And that brings us to the end of part 1. Welcome back to part 2, and we will begin with the family announcements. Lily Ann Boghall, peacefully at home, surrounded by her family, much-loved wife to George, beloved mum to Robin and Yvonne, and a dearly loved granny and great-granny to all her grandchildren. The funeral service will be held on Wednesday the 18th of June 2025 at the Co-op Funeral Care Bathgate at 10:30 a.m, followed by an interment at Bathgate Glasgow Road Cemetery, to which all are warmly invited. Rooney Daniel, known as Danny, peacefully at home on Monday the 26th of May 2025, Danny, aged 71, beloved husband to the late Marianne, cherished dad to Daniel, Alison and James, treasured granda to Jason, Erin, Orla, Abby and Macy, and a dear friend and neighbour who will be deeply missed by all who knew him. Funeral service will be held at St Andrew's Catholic Church, Livingston, thereafter to Adambrae Cemetery on Tuesday the 17th of June 2025 at 10 a.m, to which all are respectfully invited. Donations towards Epilepsy Scotland in lieu of flowers. Thank you. And we have one in memoriam. Forsyth, Gary, 11th of June 2023. We hold you close within our hearts, and there you will remain to walk with us throughout our lives until we meet again. From all the family, with memory of Nancy Forsyth, Jimmy and Chrissy Black. And now back to the general news.
Brass Band mark 150th Jubilee with free concert. West Calder Cooperative Society, one of the pioneers of the co-op in Scotland, marks its 150th anniversary this year with a free concert by an award-winning brass band. The Cooperation Brass Band, founded in 1918 among co-op employees in Glasgow, will play in West Calder High School on Friday, June the 20th to mark the Jubilee. The concert, which starts at 7 p.m, has been organised by West Calder and Harburn Community Development Trust, which is leading the creation of the Scottish Cooperative Discovery Centre, a heritage site based in the village. The concert has been sponsored by Muirhall Energy and tickets are free. The award-winning Cooperation Band was founded in the Scottish Cooperative Wholesale Society's factories in Shield Hall, Glasgow in 1918. It has gone on to win the Scottish Championship 37 times over the years. Recently, they represented Scotland at the European Brass Band Championships held in Stavanger, Norway.
This article is titled 4,000 Languishing on Psychology Waiting List. Over 4,000 people from across the Lothians are languishing on an NHS waiting list to see a psychologist. Freedom of Information requests revealed that some 22,880 people across Scotland are currently on a psychologist waiting list. Dr. Pavan Shreredy, Vice Chair of the Royal College of Psychiatrists in Scotland, said, "While concerning, these figures come as no surprise. The unprecedented demand for services and critical gaps in the mental health workforce is already leading to unacceptably long waits for mental health care and treatment. Alarmingly, waiting times may be even higher because the Scottish Government don't consider the rise in people seeking help for neurodevelopmental conditions such as autism or ADHD. NHS Lothian has the longest list, with 4,287 patients waiting to be seen. This was followed by Greater Glasgow and Clyde on 3,733 and Tayside on 2,821. Grampian had 2,736 patients waiting, Forth Valley had 2,729 and Lanarkshire 2,097. Scottish Labour mental health spokesperson Paul Sweeney said, "These shocking figures lay bare the true scale of Scotland's mental health crisis and the SNP's woeful failure to deliver the support needed. NHS staff are working tirelessly to keep mental health services going, but they are being let down by the SNP government, who are more interested in fiddling the figures than fixing the waiting lists. Scots need NHS mental health services that they can count on, and we need a change in government to deliver that. A Scottish Government spokesperson said, "The latest Public Health Scotland data shows that more than 74,000 people started treatment in psychological therapies last year. 1 in 2 patients are starting treatment within 3 weeks of referral, and there was a significant increase of 7.5% of patients starting treatment in the last quarter. This has been made possible by the hard work of our psychology services workforce, which has increased by 61.8% in the last decade."
This next article is by Michael Pringle. College boost as tech giant to train next generation of green engineers with VR sets. Students from West Lothian College are receiving state-of-the-art hands-on training in green technology thanks to a partnership with Mitsubishi Electric. The college and the technology company have teamed up to train energy experts of the future. An exciting new partnership has been forged that is aimed at tackling a shortage of workers trained to install heat pumps, a key technology in the move towards a greener future. This unique tie-in helps students and staff learn the latest green energy skills in a way that blends classroom lessons with real-world experience. Learners start with online training, then get hands-on practice at Mitsubishi Electric's state-of-the-art training centre in Livingston, using virtual reality VR to safely simulate complex tasks. The programme is now part of the college's plumbing and engineering courses, and by aligning educational delivery with the latest industry practices, it prepares students for real jobs, supports new climate goals, and helps create a more sustainable future for everyone. College staff also take part in the same training, staying up to date with the latest tools, techniques and technologies. This helps them teach with more confidence and gives students the best possible start in the growing green energy sector. Stephen Morrison, Director of Computing, Engineering and Built Environment at West Lothian College, said, "This partnership with Mitsubishi Electric represents exactly the kind of innovative collaboration we need to address the skills gap in green energy technologies. I've seen firsthand how this programme has transformed our students' learning experience. Combining cutting-edge VR technology with real-world application has given them invaluable hands-on skills that employers are actively seeking. Working together with industry leaders like Mitsubishi Electric is key to achieving our net zero ambitions. Our staff have also benefited enormously from this training, enabling them to deliver at the most current industry practices directly to our learners. The response from both students and staff has been overwhelmingly positive, and we're excited to continue building on this successful partnership in the coming year. This is exactly how education should work, preparing our students not just for today's jobs, but for the greener economy of tomorrow." Lance Hitchens, the head of customer service at Mitsubishi Electric, said, "We're thrilled to be working with West Lothian College in a partnership to ensure that today's young learners have access to the training and knowledge needed to build a greener and more sustainable future." Heat pumps have become the de facto renewable heating and hot water system for homes. As such, there is an urgent need for trained and accredited heat pump installers. Offering hands-on training, including using pioneering VR technology from the Mitsubishi Electric Factory Complex and Training Centre in Livingston, the largest manufacturer of heat pumps in the UK, learners are fully immersed in the world of heat pumps.
This next item is headed Shedders Looking to Expand. A group of self-described old codgers are re-establishing a West Lothian community garden out of a jungle. Members of Livingston Community Shed pride themselves on solving practical problems. The biggest problem they want to tackle, though, is a renovation of the derelict Carmondine farmhouse bordering the garden as a community base where the so-called shedders can put a lifetime of skills back to use to serve the community. The members are currently working on a community asset transfer plan with the council. In a presentation recently to councillors and members of Livingston North Local Area Committee, Chairperson David Piper said, "We are working on an asset transfer to take over the farmhouse so that we can expand the range of what we offer. We have a wealth of talent and we could do so much more. We want to put something back into the community." The group is active in woodwork, gardening, photography, electronics, arts and crafts. The shedders also have helped with upholstery and furniture repairs. They have built tables for infants in a nursery class, as well as garden furniture for care homes. They also now offer rural skill classes, delivering mentoring and skills training to special needs schools, including regular classes delivered to senior pupils at Cedarbank and Pinewood schools. The shedders signed a 10-year lease for Carmondine Community Garden and have built a couple of sheds and a workshop. They are redeveloping the garden and planting an orchard. External funding will allow the team to build a greenhouse to further develop the garden. Mr. Piper said the teenagers loved working in the garden, and shedders, mostly in their 70s, also loved passing on their skills. Working with the guys just gelled. It was amazing to watch everyone. I think the kids got a lot out of it. Mr. Piper added, "We're in good shape going forward. We'd like to be more involved in the community. People come along and say, 'Can you help us with this?' And 9 times out of 10, we say yes. We're problem solvers." He added, "We never ask for money for what we do. Most of our timber is donated. We're in good shape financially. We don't charge membership fees and help is given freely. We're retired. We have time and skills to give back, and we're quite proud of what we are achieving."
The next report is by Ross Thompson. Headline reads, "Bus Rolls Out Support Campaign." A West Lothian bus company's charity partner will have pride of place on a specially designed double-decker. The fully wrapped bus design, created in collaboration between Age Scotland and Lothian's in-house design team, will be a common sight on the streets of West Lothian throughout the 2-year charity partnership, with the bus operator helping to raise awareness of Age Scotland's mission. Importantly, the bus design features information about the charity's free helpline, which provides support and advice to older people across the country. In 2024, Age Scotland's helpline handled 30,000 calls, answering questions on a range of subjects from benefits and income maximisation, access to social care and housing. Lothian's Communications Director, Gaynor Marshall, said Lothian is proud to partner with Age Scotland to help raise awareness of the vital work they do to improve the lives of older people in Scotland. Bus travel offers so much more than a means of getting from A to B. It can provide connections between people and communities, enabling social inclusion and wider participation. Our Age Scotland bus offers a unique marketing opportunity which will connect members of the public across Edinburgh and the Lothians with information, advice and friendship. Catherine Crawford, Chief Executive of Age Scotland, added, "We're delighted to hit the road with Lothian buses over the next 2 years and showcase how Age Scotland can help older people connected." Tens of thousands of older people across the Lothians experience loneliness, and our branded bus will raise awareness of the services we offer to help and to support dozens of local groups and clubs which keep older people connected to their communities. We hope that our messaging reaches even more people and amplifies that we are here to provide friendship, companionship and support to older people on every street across Scotland.
This article is by Ross Thompson and it's titled, "Worry Over Weight Loss Medication." A Slimming World manager from West Lothian says slimming clubs are needed more than ever, despite the growing popularity of weight loss medication. While the arrival of weight loss injections like Ozempic, Wegovy and Mounjaro have undoubtedly changed the weight management landscape, Stuart Malcolm, who supports groups across the east of Scotland, says the drugs will never replace weight loss methods based on lifestyle changes. Stuart became a Slimming World member in 2013 after struggling with his weight in his 20s and after many failed attempts to lose weight previously. He said, "While of course we know that our members are living proof that lasting weight loss can be achieved without drugs, we also understand that when you're desperate to lose weight, it can be tempting to try something new that promises instant results. The truth is, though, there is no magic bullet. Losing weight and maintaining that weight requires change. Weight loss drugs need to go hand in hand with making changes to your diet, to your activity, and to your mindset. A recent University of Oxford study showed that people who stopped taking weight loss drugs typically regained the weight they lost within a year, with full weight regain expected in under 2 years if they do not maintain a healthy lifestyle afterwards. Stuart said, "Our healthy eating plan encourages members to eat nutritious, everyday food so that they lose weight without deprivation, and we have an activity programme that helps members increase how much and how often they move at their own personal pace. In our groups, members get behaviour change support, which helps them to understand themselves more deeply as a slimmer and change the way they think about food, activity and their own weight. In 2023, nearly 32% of adults in Scotland were living with obesity, which is the highest level on record. This is an increase from 24% in 2003. Additionally, 2/3, 66% of adults were classified as overweight, including those with obesity. The annual cost of treating conditions associated with overweight and obesity to the NHS in Scotland is estimated to range from £363 million to £600 million. Despite more weight loss drugs now being available, a poll of 2,000 adults revealed that 69% of adults would still be unlikely to take them. Of those, 25% said they don't want to change the way they eat, drink and socialise. 21% worried they wouldn't be getting the nutrition they need for good health. And 20% said they loved their food too much. Stuart said, "Many people join our groups after trying to lose weight beforehand, often alone and unsuccessfully. They understand they need support because it isn't easy, and it's even harder on your own. Whether you're using weight loss medication or have had surgery, lasting change needs real support. Members form strong friendships in group, and there's nothing quite like the motivation and accountability that comes from losing weight with others who understand the challenges. Being part of a group helps you to stay on track and committed until the changes you're making have become everyday habits. I often hear from new members how amazed they are that they can lose weight without feeling like they're missing out." And there's a picture of Stuart looking slim and happy.
Invest in Station, says councillor, an article by Stuart Somerville. A veteran councillor in West Lothian called on the Scottish Government to put its money where its mouth is on plans for a railway station in Winchborough. As the council and Winchborough developments prepare to meet potential funders of the long-delayed station, Labour's Linlithgow councillor Tom Conn called on the SNP government to stop ducking and diving. Designs were revealed on Friday with the news that a planning application would come to West Lothian Council imminently. A report to the Executive described the recently published Scottish Government Programme for Government 2025-26. It said, the programme makes specific reference to a railway station at Winchborough in the section on a safe, sustainable transport system for Scotland. Having committed to that, Councillor Conn called for a commitment to meet costs of the £22.5 million development. Welcoming the news that progression had been made in the 10 months of cooperation between the Council, Winchborough Developments, Transport Scotland Network Rail Councillors echoed concerns that there had been no concrete guarantees of funding. Councillor Conn said, "There needs to be public money invested directly by Scottish Government in Winchborough. They cannot continually suggest it's other people, other organisations that need to find the money. This is an abdication of responsibility by the Scottish Government. If they don't want to take responsibility for it, they shouldn't put it in the programme for Government 2025 to 26. The Scottish Government needs to stop ducking and diving and need to put their money where their mouth is. If all it is words not backed up with cash, stop speaking. It's not helping." Fellow Linlithgow councillor Sally Pattle said the progress had been like wading through treacle as she sought clarification of when a business plan could come to the council. When told it would be 2 to 3 months, she responded, I would just like to welcome the fact that the Scottish Government reference Winchborough in their programme for government, although I'm slightly unclear as to what that will mean in practical terms to actually get this project moving forward. I do welcome all the work that has been undertaken collaboratively between key stakeholders since last September, but I have to say that it still feels like we're moving through treacle. I would also very much like to be recognised by officers and key stakeholders that the longer this drags on, the greater the negative impact it is having on my ward of Linlithgow, because of all the commuters that come in to use the train station and then park antisocially across the town. To do so, it would be good if that could be recognised going forward. The report detailed passenger usage at neighbouring stations, including Linlithgow, which sees 1,400 a day using the station. A Transport Scotland spokesperson said, as co-promoters for Winchborough Station, West Lothian Council and Winchborough Developments Limited are responsible for developing a robust business case and securing the required capital funding should it proceed. Transport Scotland via ScotRail has committed to fund the fit-out of the station and its annual operational costs should it be delivered. Transport Scotland also issued a joint statement issued on behalf of West Lothian Council, Winchborough Developments Limited, Transport Scotland, Network Rail and ScotRail, which said, further work continues to explore opportunities for innovative construction techniques to support efficient and low disruption delivery. A stakeholder meeting with Minister for Agriculture and Connectivity, Jim Fairley, MSP, is scheduled to take place in Winchborough on the 18th of June. This will offer the Minister the opportunity to see firsthand the progress made by the project partners. Linlithgow MSP Fiona Hislop added, it's good to see progress being reported on Winchborough Rail Station from the stakeholder group, which I helped to set up as the local MSP. A route to additional funding has been identified, as I suggested, through the city-region deal, and design and location plans are ready to be submitted for planning permission.
This next article is headed Little Heroes Honoured in Litter Pick Win and is by Michael Pringle. Litter picking groups in West Lothian have been recognised for their heroic efforts during this year's Spring Clean Scotland. The collective effort saw almost 50,000 bags of litter picked throughout the campaign across the country. Organised by environmental charity Keep Scotland Beautiful, Spring Clean Scotland is the country's largest coordinated mass litter picking activity and takes place over 4 weeks from March the 21st to April the 21st. Over 33,000 people, including 18,000 young people, took part in one of the 2,600 events covering every local authority area in Scotland. The Litter League, a competition for young people to get involved and compete for Clean Up Glory, returned for a third year. A national award was won by B. Dale Explorer Scouts in West Lothian. West Lothian litter pickers were recognised with a Spring Clean Scotland Heroes Award for their efforts throughout the campaign, with 449 litter picks collecting 2,162 bags of litter. Becky Gallagher from West Lothian Litter Pickers said, West Lothian Litter Pickers and West Lothian Council worked hard together to produce our most successful Spring Clean yet. We had approximately 445 events with almost 6,000 people who gave up their time to raise awareness and clean up their community and environment. As well as our amazing WLLP members, we saw lots of schools, clubs and businesses take part. The environmental impact of the Spring Clean was visually noticeable, and we can only hope it has made an impact on people's behaviour with regards to littering and fly tipping. The Litter League, a competition for young people to get involved and compete for clean-up glory, returned for a third year, and national award was won by Beedale Explorer Scouts in Bathgate. Arlene Davis, Beedale leadership team member, said, "We're delighted to win the national award this year. It's heartening to see our young people being recognised for their hard work and volunteering." As a unit, Beedale decided to work towards the Scout Community Impact Badge, identifying that West Lothian has a litter issue. With the support of West Lothian litter pickers and West Lothian Council, our young people have managed to make a huge difference to our local areas. This is our first year as part of the Litter League, and we hope our success encourages other Scout groups to take part in the future. Fallowhill Primary School and Falthouse were the winners of the Litter League Edinburgh and Lothians Award, with 190 pupils taking part in a school litter pick and collecting 50 bags of litter. Martin McCusker, head teacher of Fallowhill Primary School, said, "Under the drive and leadership of Miss Thompson and our Echo Schools leadership group, we have always been committed and dedicated to keeping our playground and community as litter-free as possible. We're very proud that this year our hard work has been recognised." Do you want to do your bit to help tackle litter in your community? Keep Scotland Beautiful offers valuable resources to help. You can take their Community Litter e-learning module, a 90-minute online course designed to teach you about littering issues in Scotland and how to start making a difference in your area. Complete the module and you'll receive a certificate of achievement. For more information, visit keepscotlandbeautiful.org. And there's a lovely picture of some very smiley pupils from Fallowhill Primary with their litter grabbers in hand. And that brings us to the end of part 2. Welcome back to part 3, which includes the quiz. Remember to listen in at the start of part 4 for the answers to the quiz. Right, here we go. Brains engaged. And Cockhanny, there's 1 or 2 tricky ones here. Number 1. Cruiserweight and TKO are terms used in which sport? A. Swimming. B. Golf. C. Boxing. Number 2. In which year did US swimmer Mark Spitz win 7 Olympic gold medals? A. 1972. B. 1992. C. 1980. Number 3. Who won the Best Supporting Actress Oscar in 2003 for her role in Chicago? A. Renée Zellweger. B. Catherine Zeta-Jones. C. Christina Baranski. Number 4. Which comic actor stars as René Artois in the BBC sitcom Allo Allo? A. Gordon Kay. B. John Cleese. C. David Jason. Number 5. Who directed the 1982 sci-fi film Blade Runner? A. Ridley Scott. B. George Lucas. C. Ronald Emmerich. Number 6. In which decade was TV's Simon Cowell born? A. The 1960s. B. The 1950s. C. The 1940s. Number 7. What does an arctophile collect? A. Butterflies. B. Stamps. C. Teddy bears. Number 8. What nationality is top golfer Jason Day? A. Australian. B. South African. C. English. Number 9. Born to Run is a 1975 album by which American artist? A. Bruce Springsteen. B. Billy Joel. C. Paul Simon. And the last one, number 10. Lent lily is another name for which plant? A. Daisy. B. Crocus. C. Daffodil. Good luck, everyone. And now back to the general news.
Lights, camera, action at Council Headquarters for BBC series. A report from Ross Thompson. West Lothian Council's headquarters served as the backdrop of a hit BBC and Netflix series. The 6-part series, The Bombing of Pan Am 103, concluded earlier this week. The programme has been made by World Productions as part of a collaboration between the BBC and Netflix. A lot of filming has taken place in West Lothian, and eagle-eyed viewers may have spotted the Civic Centre, which was used as one of the main locations for filming. Emmy Award winner Merritt Weaver from New Girl and Nurse Jackie, Patrick J. Adams from Suits, which was the most watched series on Netflix in 2023, and Connor Swindles of Barbie fame were all located here for a short while to undertake filming. A West Lothian Council spokesperson said, "The cast and crew were very grateful to the Council's caretakers for their work to help allow filming to take place. They even took time out to have a photo taken with our building manager, Derek O'Neill." And Derek is pictured with the two main actors.
Shelter in Linlithgow is inspiration for art exhibition. This article is by Michael Pringle. A unique new art exhibition in West Lothian town incorporates the transformation of a bus shelter. The Beautiful Materials exhibition extends from the walls of the gallery and includes a high street bus stop in Linlithgow. The striking solo exhibition by Glasgow-based award-winning artist Nicola Atkinson has launched in the gallery at Linlithgow Borough Halls. It presents the vessel as a container for ideas and aims to question how we look at art and its materials. Nicola said, "I became interested in how we see things every day, as we often view the entire world now in miniature on our phones. As a result, I created a scale model in the gallery where you can imagine you are a giant within the 8 georgette and velvet floating wall hangings with wee velvet vessel paintings. The bus shelter is significantly located across from the gallery at Linlithgow Cross. It features 24 naturally illuminated and transparent colourful vessels artworks. You can see clearly from the gallery windows, connecting the interior with the exterior and extending the boundaries of the exhibition. Internationally acclaimed, Nicola is known for the recent public artwork The Memory Tree, which forms part of the award-winning Aberdeen Union Terrace Gardens and has created 145 public art projects, temporary and permanent, in villages, towns, cities and museums around the world. Supported by West Lothian Council, Beautiful Materials solo exhibition puts the visitor front and centre in an active role of questioning art, how we digest what is around us and how we take part, and then what does it all mean? Vessel on Loan allows local residents to borrow some of the exhibition artworks for their home, creating a domestic version of the exhibition. A recent survey for museums highlighted that a person spends on average 28 seconds looking at a piece of art, said Nicola. This exhibition offers the visitor to have more time with an artwork, to understand how the relationship to it can grow or change by having it in the comfort of their own home. Nicola has also published a stunning pocket-sized book to accompany the exhibition. Beautiful Materials runs until Sunday, September the 21st and is open daily from 9 a.m. until 5 p.m. Nicola will also be presenting 4 events: an artist's talk on Wednesday, June the 18th from 6:30 until 7:30 and Vessel on Loan from July the 2nd and 16th, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. There will also be a book signing on Friday the 4th of July from 12 noon until 1 at Far From the Madding Crowd Bookshop, and a Where Art music event on Saturday, August 23rd from 1 till 3 in collaboration with Stevie Jackson. Further details on Beautiful Materials are available from beautifulmaterials.co and by emailing beautifulmaterial@gmail.com.
Elderly driver dies in smash. Police are appealing for witnesses after an elderly driver died in a single-car crash. A 71-year-old man who was the driver of a Volvo XC90 died at the scene. Police were alerted just before 6 p.m. on Friday and emergency services rushed to Blaeberry Road in Whitburn. A 74-year-old woman who was a passenger in the car was taken to hospital to be checked over. Sergeant Jamie Humpage said, "Our thoughts are with the family and friends of the man who died, and our inquiries into the circumstances are ongoing. I am appealing for anyone who witnessed the crash who hasn't already spoken to officers to please get in touch. I would also ask anyone who was in the area at the time and may have dashcam footage which could assist to contact us. Anyone with any information is asked to contact 101, quoting reference 2852 of June the 6th, 2025.
And this next item is headed, Barman Bobby is still game for a laugh. Sitcom icon Gavin Mitchell ready to take to the stage in Bathgate to reveal all about working on TV and his long, storied career, and is by Michael Pringle. A Bathgate audience will get the chance to question a still game star when he takes to the stage at the Regal Cinema in Bathgate this month. Look Who It Isn't, an audience with Gavin Mitchell, will see the 60-year-old actor offer up behind-the-scenes stories and insights from his years of working in theatre, film, TV and radio. Gavin is instantly recognisable thanks to his role as the acerbic Bobby the barman in the hit Scottish sitcom TV series. Hailing from the north of Glasgow and an area he describes as a lovely fishing village of Springburn, Gavin first got into acting almost accidentally through a dare with one of his pals. A good mate of mine, Ian Muir, and I didn't know what we were going to do in life, he said. He was a joiner but hadn't finished his apprenticeship. I did casual theme painting at the Citizens Theatre and he was doing casual joinery work. We had the skinny, peely-wally look with black hair and Ian was asked to be an extra in one of the shows. He told me he didn't want to do it, and I said, "What? I'd love to do that." So he said, "If you do it, I'll do it," and we shook hands on it. So that's how it started. And from then on, I learned on the job. I was at the Citizens for 4 or 5 years. I was working with Glenda Jackson and Rupert Everett and people like that. There was a very significant development in the mid-90s when Gavin and the other actors who would eventually find national acclaim as the characters in Still Game were thrown together for the first time. I worked with Ford Kiernan and Greg Hempel on a sketch show in 1996 called Pulp Video, and that's sort of where the Still Game characters started. Greg and I played out old men in a couple of sketches. Then out of boredom, while we were waiting about, we just started talking like two old men and making each other laugh. Ford thought there was something in it and wrote a couple of sketches. Jane McCarry, Isa, was in Pulp Video, as well as Sanjeev Kohli, who plays Naveed, worked on it as a writer. I was Winston originally. We all kind of met then, 30 years ago. Although the last Still Game television show was recorded about 7 years ago, Gavin admits he is still recognised in the streets. It's always done with kindness, he said. It's kind of weird, as Still Game only took about 2 weeks out of my year. Despite the fact I'd been acting for 15 years before that and all the work I've done since, I've done all sorts of work, but I've always been known for Bobby. Gavin has taken on a variety of roles over the years, from film, TV and radio right through to opera. He's been playing Humphrey Bogart's role in Casablanca on and off for 15 years, a role he will revive again this year at the Edinburgh Festival. But before that, what can the audience expect when he takes to the stage in Bathgate? The show will inevitably talk about Still Game, but it will also be about other side of things, Gavin revealed. How I got there, the people I've worked with throughout the years, including becoming friends with Robin Williams and things like that. There'll be loads of anecdotes and stories from over the years. I have clips from shows and ads that have never been seen in this country. I've had questions that are sent in from celebrities. Some I know, some I don't. I've had questions from Chesney Hawkes, Amy MacDonald, Susan Boyle and Midge Ure. But my favourite part of the show is the second half, when the punters in the crowd get to ask me questions, because you never know what you're going to be asked and what way it's going to go. It's kind of unpredictable. Look Who It Isn't, an audience with Gavin Mitchell, is at the Reconnect Regal Theatre in Bathgate on Friday, June the 27th. And there are several pictures of Gavin, one with the whole cast of Still Game and another with them as very, very young actors in their start-out video, Pulp Video.
Next headline reads, Miracle Recovery of Pooch, who almost lost leg. This article is by Michael Pringle. A plucky Pooch from West Lothian, who almost lost his leg on a Bathgate farm, has overcome every obstacle and is back running like the wind. Ron, a Jack Russell, who takes part in agility sports, was run over by a farm trailer, and his owner Tracy Barton feared he may never be fit to compete again. But 7-year-old Ron is now back enjoying agility sessions thanks to expert bandage therapy and paddling sessions in the pool. Tracy was out on a regular evening walk with Ron and her 2 other dogs when a farmer came down the track with his jeep and trailer. We pulled in to let him pass when Ron suddenly decided to chase, cut in front of the trailer and got run over, said Tracy, from Westfield village near Bathgate. It happened in a split second and wasn't the farmer's fault at all. Ron's back leg was a mess, with the skin all pulled off and lots of blood. He was in a right state, so the farmer ran us home so I could get to the vets. After emergency overnight treatment, Ron was transferred to Graham's Road Vets in Falkirk, part of the Pet Health Club, a preventative healthcare service and nationwide network of veterinary practices. The injury was so serious an extensive treatment plan was worked out by the vets and nurses. The main bandaging regime was carried out by registered veterinary nurse Niamh Izadi, with input from bandaging angels, specialists in bandaging and wound care. It was a really challenging case as Ron's wounds were so bad he could have lost a leg, Niamh revealed. We applied wet-dry dressings which had to be changed every 24 hours and then moved on to special dressings using Manuka honey to help with the healing and removal of the dead tissue. After that, our vet team were able to operate to tack the skin back over and almost all the wound was covered. We then did further bandage dressings to help relieve pressure sores. He's such a lovely dog, it was incredibly rewarding to see him get better and be able to continue his recovery. As part of Ron's rehab, he had 6 sessions at Brook Hydro in Uphall. He'd lost a huge amount of muscle from his leg, said Tracy, but he was able to build it back up in the pool without putting any weight on it. He also took part in canine conditioning physio sessions. Following the intensive therapy at Graham's Road Vets and hydrotherapy sessions, he's just started back doing hoopers, a sport similar to agility. Hoopers, a cross between agility and sheepdog herding without the sheep, involves navigating the dog round a course through hoops, barrows and tunnels. Ron had previously been a regular, and after all the veterinary treatment rehab, he finally returned to it last month. I don't know if he'd ever be able to do it again, and for a long time I was just happy if he'd be able to keep his leg, added Tracy. But when he did his first session, he was running like the wind. It was good to see. I can't thank everyone involved in his care enough, particularly Niamh, who was absolutely incredible. Pet Health Club owners get unlimited consultations and are also covered for regular routine treatments such as vaccinations, health check and flea and worm and parasite treatments. And there is a photograph of Ron running like the wind.
New milestone reached in school construction. This article is by Michael Pringle. Work on a major construction project at a West Lothian high school is progressing well. A new wing is currently being built at St Kentigern's Academy in Blackburn, following issues with reinforced autoclaved aerated concrete, RAC. The project to rebuild a significant proportion of the school is on track for completion in spring 2026, after 2/3 of the school had to be demolished due to RAC. A recent meeting of Council Executive received an update on the project, with the steel frame, concrete floors and staircase now in place to mark a significant milestone. Contractor Hearn Brothers is undertaking the construction work on behalf of the Council and development partner Hub South East. Discussions are ongoing with the Scottish Government over support to fund the works at St Kentigern's. The school's pupil voice group has been actively involved in visiting the construction site for updates and sharing them with the wider school community. Executive Councillor for Education Andrew Maguire said, "It's great to hear how much progress has been made in rebuilding a significant part of St Kentigern's Academy in Blackburn. St Kentigern's is a large secondary school that provides education to many young people from towns and villages in the west of Scotland. I beg your pardon. We can now look forward to the new building at St Kentigern's being open in 2026, which will deliver huge benefits for pupils and staff. Thanks to everyone at the school and those involved in the project for their hard work that has ensured a major construction project can be delivered quickly and with minimal impact on education. The new building will feature a reception area, spacious canteen and dining area, a four-court games hall, a dance studio, a fitness suite and a changing village. Additional facilities will include a performance area, a range of learning spaces, a cafe and nurture rooms, all designed to enhance the learning environment for the young people who attend the school. The work has been ongoing while the school is operational, with every effort made to keep disruption to a minimum for a project of its scale. A temporary learning village has been put in place to support learning, with some PE lessons and SQA exams the only activities requiring additional space off-site. And there's a photograph of the building work, which is certainly very extensive.
Brandon leaves Livy. Livingston boss David Martindale admits he's disappointed that captain Jamie Brandon is moving on, but says that's football. Whitburn-born Brandon, 27, will leave the Lions at the end of his contract after 3 years at Amond Vale and has joined Premiership rivals Kilmarnock. Brandon scored in the 5-0 SPFL Trust Trophy win over Queen's Park and led the Lions back to the Premiership via a playoff win over Ross County in Dingwall. Martindale wanted to keep Brandon at the club but says he has to look after his own interests. He said, "Jamie did incredibly well for me, the club and himself, and we've done well for Jamie. He's a young player with a young family. We've been good for one another and I'm disappointed in a way, but I've been here 100 times before and it is what it is. We've done well for one another. He can get more money elsewhere and so we wish him well." And the article is accompanied by a picture of Jamie Brandon.
This next item is headed Life-Changing African Trip for Armadale Academy Kids and is by Michael Pringle. Pupils at a high school in West Lothian are set to embark on a life-changing trip to Africa later this month. A group consisting of 21 students and 5 staff members from Armadale Academy are excitedly completing final preparations before heading to Malawi, where they will visit their partner school. Armadale Academy's head teacher, Nicola Barker Harrison, will be heading up the group, which heads off for the Southern Hemisphere on a 2-week trip, which will be a key milestone in building a strong and sustainable partnership between the two schools and their respective communities. The partnership between Armadale Academy and Kaya School in Malawi was initiated in August 2023. Nicola was keen to establish it following her 10-year experience of a similar partnership at her previous school, Beath High in Fife, and was able to use her contacts in Malawi to form a link with Kaya Primary School. This educational partnership provides a real-life context for young people in both schools to build friendships across the continents and provides an opportunity to develop an understanding of other cultures, the current global context and relative poverty, said Nicola. One of the key partnership aims is to create genuine reciprocal curricular links, including exploring exciting opportunities within art and music, but also in science, where there is a huge potential to consider the increasing role of renewable energy within both communities. The pupil and staff at Armadale have been busy fundraising as a group to reduce cost and ensure that the trip was accessible to all students. They have received fantastic support from the local community, including Armadale Community Centre and Armadale Goth, who both hosted a number of fundraising events. Nicola continued, as well as collections by individuals and family members linked to the trip, local companies such as Tesco and Marks & Spencer have also kindly donated items such as underwear for the group to share with the children in Kaya Primary School. Cargill Fish Factory in Bathgate also stepped up with a very generous donation that will be used to buy blackboard paint, as well as paint for educational murals and items such as jotters for the children in Malawi. The Armadale pupils met with Cargill Fish Factory manager Suzanne Clark and Jenna Erskine from the company's customer service team, who presented them with special souvenir hoodies and goodie bags of water bottles and hats. We are extremely touched by the generosity of the company and the difference it will make not only to their trip, but most importantly to the school in Malawi, said Nicola. As part of their final preparations, they also received a visit from the Scotland-Malawi Partnership's Ian Mitchell, who answered questions about the culture in Malawi, as well as giving the children a taster lesson in the local language, Chichewa. Grateful for his input, the students wanted to share a big zikoma, meaning thank you. In addition to making new Malawian friends, the once-in-a-lifetime trip will also give the young people the opportunity to get up close with Africa's wildlife, such as elephants, deer and hippos on a safari. The school group will leave on June the 26th, and there are several photographs of some very excited pupils preparing for their big adventure. And that brings us to the end of part 3. Welcome back to part 4. We'll start with the answers to the quiz and then do some sports items. Right, let's see how you got on. Number 1, cruiserweight and TKO are terms used in which sport? And the answer is C, boxing. Number 2, in which year did US swimmer Mark Spitz win 7 Olympic gold medals? And the answer is A, 1972. Number 3, who won the Best Supporting Actress Oscar in 2003 for her role in Chicago? And the answer is B, Catherine Zeta-Jones. Number 4, which comic actor starred as René Artois in the BBC sitcom Allo Allo? And the answer is A, Gordon Kay. Number 5, who directed the 1982 sci-fi film Blade Runner? The answer is A, Ridley Scott. Number 6, in which decade was TV's Simon Cowell born? And the answer is B, the 1950s. Number 7, what does an arctophile collect? And the answer is C, teddy bears. Number 8, what nationality is top golfer Jason Day? And the answer is A, Australian. Number 9, Born to Run is a 1975 album by which American artist? And the answer is A, Bruce Springsteen. And number 10, Lent lily is another name for which plant? And the answer is C, daffodil. And now for some sports items.
Your sports reporter is Andy McGilvery. Headline reads, Podium finishes for Lithgow ski kids. Lithgow Primary School bagged a podium finish at the Scottish Schools Snow Sports Association Dry Slope Primary Championships. Held at Hill End Ski Slope in Edinburgh, pupils from 2 Lithgow schools competed against schools from across Scotland and reached the finals. Lithgow Primary School finished third, claiming bronze, while Lowport Primary earned an impressive 16th place out of 26 teams. Anson Howell, a Primary 4 pupil at Lithgow Primary, also secured a podium spot, winning 2nd place in the Primary 1 to Primary 4 boys category. All participating pupils train at Polmont Hill Community Snow Sports Centre, which has played a key role in developing their skills and confidence on the slopes. Individual results were Primary 1 to 4 boys, second place, silver. Individual results were Primary 1 to 4 boys, and in second place, Anson Howell, who won silver. Rue Bryden, 15th from Lowport Primary, and Rory Colgan, who was 15th from Lowport Primary. Primary 1 to 4 girls, 6th place was Josie Fountain from Lowport Primary. Primary 5 to 7 girls, 5th place, Lucy Colgan, also from Lowport Primary. Primary 5 to 7 boys, 7th place was Callum Eason from Linlithgow Primary, and 8th place, Logan Eason, Linlithgow Primary. 20th was Robert Potter, Linlithgow Primary. Team results: Linlithgow Primary won bronze, and Lowport were 16th. Bob Eason, Polmont Hill Snow Sports Club race coordinator, said, "This is a fantastic achievement for our young skiers who train so hard all year round." After qualifying through the South of Scotland round in Glasgow, reaching the national finals was a huge milestone, but to secure a podium finish is something they should be very proud of. Linlithgow Primary's bronze medal was well deserved, with some very fast times, and Lowport also impressed, especially with 3 of their team competing in the younger age group. We are so fortunate to have Polmont Hill on our doorstep. Regular access to quality training makes all the difference. For more information on Polmont Hill Snow Sports Club, email polmonthill.snowsports.club@gmail.com.
And more sport from Andy McGilvray, this time cricket. Livy bag 6-wicket win against Grange. Livingston 4 beat Grange 4 by 6 wickets in East of Scotland Cricket Association League Division 9 on Sunday. It was Livingston's only match at the weekend that wasn't rained off. Livingston captain Stuart Lang won the toss and sent Grange into bat. The visiting bowlers were on form, and young Alex Lang got a well-deserved 4 wickets, starting when he clean bowled their opener, James St Clair. Their other opener, Jesse Heriot Maitland, was run out attempting a quick single, with Assam Ghaffar making a one-handed pickup and threw a direct hit. The remaining 5 wickets were shared by the bowlers Keane Jennings, Pervez Khan, Sam Barker, Cam McDill and Kasim Imtiaz. Barker took 2 catches, one from his own bowling and another great catch at mid-wicket, running backwards, and there was another by McDill. Grange were dismissed in the final over at 113 for 10. After a slight rain delay, Livingston began the run chase, but Andy Bell fell in the first over with no runs. Mukhtar Ahmed was joined by Assam Ghaffar, and they built a solid innings with a 48-run partnership until the 16th over when Ghaffar was out for 12. Livingston's batsmen kept the score ticking, with Ahmed top scoring on 26 and Barker hitting the winning runs to finish 23 not out. The target was reached in 35.2 overs on a 114 for 4, a good win against an unbeaten side, leaving Livingston 6th in the table. Livingston 4 aren't in league action again until June the 21st, when they travel to Morton 4 at Meadows 2. Livingston's firsts were due to visit Pennycook in the ESCA Division 1 and will now host RH Castorphin 2 at Dresselrig on Saturday at 1 p.m. In Division 4, Livingston Boswells was abandoned, and they will travel to meet Holy Cross at the Arboretum on Saturday at 1 p.m. Livingston 3s were rained off at home to Stewart's Melville 3 and will try again against Dunnykirk 2 in Division 6 on Saturday with a 1 p.m. start.
This next article is also a sports article, and it's entitled "Broxburn Boss Expects More Next Season." Broxburn Athletic boss Stevie Pittman says he expects more from his players next season now they have had a taste of Lowland League football. The Alban Park side finished 6th in their inaugural campaign in the 5th tier, having won the East of Scotland League the previous season. And now Pittman is preparing his side to improve on that when the new campaign kicks off next month. Brox and the rest of the league will be pleased to see big spending East Kilbride move up to League 2, and Pittman believes it will be a more competitive campaign. He says it's going to be difficult in another competitive season. I want us to get as high as we can. I think after season finishing 6th, we need to get higher up, and I will be expecting more from the players. We have had one season in the Lowland League now, and I am looking for us to do a lot better and improve. East Kilbride have gone up, which is good, but you've got Clydebank coming in from the West of Scotland Premier League and Bonnyrigg Rose dropping down from League 2. So that is 2 good teams coming into the league. Meanwhile, Broxburn have announced coach Stephen McAlone has stepped down. A club statement read, Broxburn Athletic can announce Stephen McAlone's departure from the coaching staff at the club for personal reasons. Stephen played a big role during our title and promotion winning season and our debut campaign in the Lowland League. Stephen added, I have loved every minute of my time at the club and I will certainly not be a stranger when the opportunity arises.
That brings us to the end of this week's reading. We hope you have enjoyed it. So it's goodbye from members of Team 5. Until next time, stay safe, stay well.